All right, guys, let's do a quick mid-month update, talk about the books that I've been reading, what I'm going to pick up next, what I just finished. Is it going to be a favorite of 2023? Spoiler alert, yes, it is. Talk about life, what's been going on, what's coming up on the channel. Some collabs are on the horizon. Stay tuned. We'll talk about all of that. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I appreciate you being here. My name is Theo. Let's do my mid-month update for June. I can't believe it's June. I know people always say that, but it's halfway through 2023, and literally because of a lot of things that have happened professionally and in my life and some changes and work and all that stuff, this year has flown by. So I can't believe it's the middle of 2023 already. I hope it's going well for you. Let's talk about how my June is going. I didn't do an update for May because it was kind of busy. So I thought I'd do one this month, and I was going to do it live, but I thought let's just do it like this so I can kind of go through and gather my thoughts. As usual, you can go ahead and skip down below to a section you prefer. We're going to get into the books in just a second. But first, a real quick life update for those of you who didn't see my last video. This is Penny, our new little kitten that we rescued from a shelter literally like a week and a half ago, going on 2 weeks now. She's just adorable. She's a little squirmy because she doesn't want to be on camera right now, probably. But she's pretty chill. She likes to nap. She's definitely a lap cat. And she sleeps with us and is super cute, has settled in. The place is hers. She's getting along with Gordon, who's our resident adult male cat. And that introduction was slow. I'm not sorry if she's showing off her butt, but that's kind of just how it rolls. And she's really cool. She likes to hang out when I read, when I record, I guess. She likes to be in here in the office with me. And so, yeah, this is Penny. She's like, I don't know, 14 weeks old right now, and she's just like the best addition to our little family. So I wanted to introduce her. Sorry she didn't stick around, but yeah, that's Penny. Let's go ahead and talk about some books. First, let's talk about a book that I've been reading for a while since the month started that I probably should have finished already, but I haven't for a number of reasons, which we'll get into. This one is Gates of Fire by Steven Pressfield. I'm really enjoying this one. It's the Greeks and the Persians, the 300, the battle at Thermopylae. And I'm really enjoying it, and I'm reading it alongside Alex at Tall Guy Reads, Joanna, Kevin at Kevin Jenkins, Alan from the Library of Alexandria, a couple other people I think have jumped on with us. And we're all enjoying it. I've heard some different opinions depending on where they are in the story. I think it keeps getting better. I've enjoyed it from the jump, but it's definitely one that I need to be in the mood for lately. I was having an itch for historical fiction, and I've been enjoying this one, but I decided to also pick up another book that I ended up flying through and finishing before I came back to finish this one. So I'm like 2/3, maybe 3/4 now through this one. I'm taking my time with it. I'm enjoying it. I'm doing the audio on this one. So I'm fitting that in kind of whenever, but I'm enjoying it. So I'm probably going to wrap this up in the next couple days. But what I picked up while I was reading this that I ended up finishing was actually Boy's Life by Robert McCammon. This, I just wrote my review on it. I actually forgot to put this in Goodreads when I started reading it because I went through it so quickly that I like forgot to even update it on Goodreads. So I went back and changed the dates because I think it took me, 5 days, 6 days, something like that. For me, for a book that's, 700 pages, 600 pages long, it's pretty quick. And I did this one physical and audio kind of 50-50. And I really enjoyed it. The audiobook was excellent on this one. I found it on Scribd. If you have that as a membership, it's on there, as is Gates of Fire, actually, to be honest. And I thought this was a masterpiece. This is going to be a top book of mine, top 5, top 10 of 2023. We'll see how the rest of the year shakes out. I just wrote my review for this one on Goodreads, and I called it a masterpiece coming of age story. This one was so compelling. It's the story of youth and the magic of youth and growing up through the eyes of a child, life and all its wonder, and the things that make us who we are as we grow up. This takes place in a small town in the 60s in Alabama. I believe it's called Zephyr, and I think it's probably a fictional small town. And it opens with a murder mystery, and it's set against the backdrop of a murder mystery, and the ending for the mystery itself, but also the coming of age story. It comes full circle, and it's just perfection. It's just an incredible book. One of the best that I've read probably ever. I've become a huge fan of Robert McCammon since Swan Song. I highly recommend people pick this up. Fans of Stephen King will adore this book. And if you don't necessarily love Stephen King, or you do, but like it's hit or miss and you want something a little bit different, you're still going to find a lot to like here. This is probably one of the most accurate and moving portrayals of a child's life and what it's like through the eyes of particularly a young boy, making friends, growing up, riding bikes, playing baseball, just like how everything is interpreted. There are some scenes in this book where you're not sure. It's like, is that actually happening, or is that just how this kid is imagining it? And everything kind of makes sense as you go through. A lot of it is sort of just the magic that's inherent in, a young boy's perception of the world. And I just thought it was absolutely magnificent the way this was done. The prose and the writing and the blah, 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 all that stuff is perfect. I love Robert McCammon's writing. But aside from that, just the themes, there's some racial issues and stuff that's tackled because of the small town in the 60s in, southern US and Alabama. Like, it was just an interesting time probably to grow up, and people were evolving and society was evolving, and so was this town and its people. And it's just, I thought it was beautifully done. So I urge you to put down what you're reading right now and pick up Boy's Life. That's my spiel. Hope you like it. If you do read it and enjoy it, maybe let me know, because I hope to talk about this one more. I might do a dedicated review. This one left me in tears at the end, and I could read the ending over and over because the ending was perfection. So I read Boy's Life and I absolutely adored it. So now I'm kind of going back to Gates of Fire. But I also picked up another book, which was kind of silly of me because I'm reading Gates of Fire, which is definitely, Greek in its theme. And I also picked up Song of Achilles at the same time. So now I'm reading Gates of Fire and Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. And honestly, this book is incredible so far. I'm doing mostly this one, but also audiobook because I ended up finding it on Scribd. And so I'm listening to that a little bit because somebody told me that the audiobook was good and I was curious about it. So now I'm reading it kind of 50-50. I'm reading it out of this paperback that I've had for a while, as well as the audiobook. And the writing is exceptional. This is the story of Patroclus and Achilles, who are basically best friends, and it gets into the Trojan War and Homer's Iliad. And it's sort of a retelling of the, mythological tale that is the Iliad. I mean, we don't really know if it happened. Historians think that it didn't really happen, but it's basically, the Iliad and the Trojan War, and of course, the mythological figure of Achilles and his story and his part in it. But really at the heart of it, this is basically a romance, and we follow Patroclus, and his, affection and devotion to Achilles is written beautifully. I'm experimenting a little bit with mythological retellings. I haven't read too many of them. And this is a little bit outside my comfort zone, where the romance is at the heart of the story and not just a well-done piece of the entire plot. Their romance is really at the heart of this, and I'm enjoying it. It's done beautifully. Like I said, the writing is really impressive, and the audiobook is great if you're into that. I'm already super invested in the story and where it's going. It's bringing in a lot of characters, and it's very moving, and it's already just very compelling. And I have to say, it's doing everything with a lot of respect for the mythology, because it's drawing from really important literature in Homer's Iliad and the Odyssey and all that kind of stuff. So it's doing it in a way that I find to be really impressive, that I'm sort of surprised by. And I don't know if I should say that. Like, I'm just surprised at how good this is. And I'm sort of kicking myself for having it on my shelf too long and not reading it. The book that I was going to pick up before picking up Song of Achilles was The Will of the Many by James Islington. This is a new release that came out not too long ago, and I wanted to jump on this one as a new release, part of the discussion, part of the hype. And I don't read too many new releases when they first come out, even though I always want to. I'm tied up with buddy reads, or there are other things that are burning my TBR that I'm itching to get to, or I'm continuing series, which I'm terrible at, and we'll talk about that in a different video. Sometimes I just wait for the hype to die down. So this one I wanted to jump on, but I ended up picking up Song of Achilles, and then I thought, well, maybe after I'm finished Song of Achilles, I'll get back to this one. But instead, I think I'm going to shake up the TBR a little bit, because after having re-fallen in love again with Robert McCammon's writing in Boy's Life, I just wanted to read more McCammon. We were talking in the Grimoire Discord. There's Baron and RJ and Alex. We were talking about Robert McCammon. Alex is just finishing Boy's Life. He's saying it's incredible too. I can't wait for him to finish the ending. RJ was like, you know what? I trust you guys. If you think it's incredible, I should jump on it. I'll read it ASAP. Baron suggested that we continue reading McCammon with Speaks the Nightbird, which is Matthew Corbett series number 1. We talked about it, and I think we're going to shake up the TBR a little bit and fit that one in. So don't be surprised if in my wrap up, I have another McCammon book because again, I just love Robert McCammon's writing and I've wanted to read the Matthew Corbett series for a while. It's kind of a murder mystery, historical fiction, urban fantasy type of story set in like the late 1600s, early 1700s, something like that. So I don't know too much about it other than what I believe to be the aesthetic and sort of the setting of it, but I'm very curious about it. I don't know much more than just the premise there, but yeah, I think I'm going to continue with Robert McCammon, and I downloaded the audiobook for Speaks the Nightbird. I already have the digital edition, so I'm probably going to read that one. As for the rest of the month with books, I'm not going to be too strict. I'm just going to read what I can. At the end of the month, there's another buddy read that we might do, which is Lions of Al Rassan. I don't know if I'm going to be able to jump on that one, but I'll let you know. We'll see what my wrap up entails. As for the channel continues to grow. Slow and steady wins the race. I appreciate every single one of you. We're at 1,800 and change at the time of recording, and we're trending 2,000 in the next, I don't know, month or two, which is cool. I continue to be humbled and surprised, quite honestly, at the encouragement and the support, the love and the comments and the positivity and stuff. I really appreciate it. All the subscribers, all the patrons, I appreciate you. You allow me to upgrade equipment and buy some books once in a while that I get to talk to you about and all that stuff. One more thing, hopefully I can fit this in where it kind of makes sense, but to my patrons, I'm sorry I haven't been able to open up my TBR to voting as much as planned. I promise that's a Patreon thing and it's going to be coming back. Just the idea of fitting more books in when I had already planned for my TBRs when I was a little bit busy with work and with life and all that stuff. And then the buddy reads that I had and the channel read along happening. The idea of trying to prioritize a book that you guys picked for me that I would absolutely want to commit to was stressing me out a little bit. So I had to defer that, and I deferred it a little bit longer than I would have hoped for. So I promise that's coming. If you want to be able to vote on books that I'm going to read, check out my Patreon. And for patrons, it's coming back. I promise. We'll talk about it on our next patron hangout. Those video calls are always super fun, and I look forward to the next one, which is happening very soon. The Discord is growing. I love that community. I have been less active recently with work and life being very busy, but I assure you I'm going to be in there talking to you guys more. If you want to find me and be able to discuss tons of books with lots of different people, there's threads on different authors and genres and books and whatever. You can find something to talk about with someone there, I'm sure. So come check out the Grimoire Discord. It's me and a couple friends that are growing that community, and it's a good place to be, and you'll see a lot of familiar faces, I'm pretty sure. On the topic of familiar faces, I almost did a collab video with Dan at the Black and Blue Collared Reader, who did an excellent video on animal companions, and it was a wonderful collab with a bunch of booktubers, and you get to see a ton of really cute pets and stuff. So go check out that video if you haven't. He was waiting on me to send a video. I desperately wanted to show off our new kitten. It was perfect timing, but it was, hectic, and our kitten was trying to get introduced to our other cat. Our other cat was stressed out. I didn't want to have him in here necessarily recording, and I couldn't have her in here at the same time. I couldn't have them together. So it was just, he was waiting for me and I couldn't get a video together in time for him. So I appreciate the invite. Go check out that video if you haven't. It's a really cool collab, and it was a really great idea by Dan. Also coming down the pipe that we haven't formally announced yet, but we will soon, probably in a stream or something like that, because it's supposed to start in July, is a collab joint channel read along with myself, RJ from RJ Reads, and another channel slightly bigger that you may know. We're doing a reread of one of our favorite series of all time. And so I can't wait to bring you along for that and announce it. Hopefully there's a lot of interest already because we've kind of talked about it with some people. If you're not part of the Grimoire Discord, now's your chance to get alerted to these things and read alongs and buddy reads and all that stuff. We'll be talking about it there. Look for that announcement because it's going to be really fun. And I've been planning this reread for a while and I can't wait. It's a special quartet of 4 books that you may or may not have heard of. So we're going to be doing a reread. We'll announce it all formally very, very soon. I was also thinking when I hit 2,000 subscribers, instead of doing a Q&A, which I will probably save for another milestone, I'll just go ahead and do a giveaway to show my appreciation. It'll either be a book or an Amazon gift card or something bookish. We'll figure it out when we get there. But yeah, thanks for subscribing. I appreciate the support. When I get to 2,000, stay tuned for that because there will be a giveaway happening. So that's basically it for the books and the life stuff and the channel. I did watch some movies. I watched Knock at the Cabin, which is based on The Cabin at the End of the Woods by Paul Tremblay, kind of a mystery thriller, suspense thriller, whatever type of movie. And I thought it was really good. It had Batista in it. The guy that played Ron Weasley, I can't remember his name. My wife would kill me because he's a favorite of hers. But yeah, I had a good time. It was pretty fun. I watched that Home Alone on Netflix, and I thought it was really well done. I thought the acting was pretty cool. The story was interesting. I'm curious about the book and how closely the movie follows it. But yeah, overall, I liked it. I also watched The Little Mermaid with my wife and had a good time. I know there's been a ton of controversy around it. I'm going to try to avoid that. But all I can say is there were some changes that I really liked, some changes that I was kind of questioning, but I can see why they did it that way. Overall, it was aesthetically nice to watch. I thought the songs were fun. I thought everything was sung pretty well. It's Disney. It's a musical. I mean, the music is part of it. And I had fun. I thought there were some really funny moments. There are a few things that the new movie changed that a lot of people were criticizing that I actually thought worked a lot better and were some of the best parts of the whole movie. So I had a fun time. If you were a fan of The Little Mermaid growing up, like my wife was, I would say go see it. I think chances are slim that it's going to completely ruin your childhood. That animated movie still exists, and I would say go ahead and enjoy a different version of it. So that's all I got to say about that. Hopefully you guys have a really good rest of your month. Let me know in the comments what you're reading, what you just finished, what you're going to pick up. Are you reading anything that I'm reading? Do you agree that Boy's Life is one of the best books that you've ever read? Because I liked it quite a bit, in case that wasn't clear. So that's all I got to say. That's my update. I appreciate you hanging out with me again, and I'll talk to you soon on the next video.